Rain poured over the city like tears from the sky when Ethan wiped the grease off his hands, shutting down the garage for the night. His overalls were stained, his knuckles rough, and his dreams buried under years of unpaid bills and sleepless nights. He was a small-town mechanic, honest, hard-working, but invisible to the world that passed him by in shiny cars he could never afford. That night, as thunder rolled across the horizon, a sleek black Mercedes pulled up outside his garage, the kind of car he usually saw only in magazines. The driver's window slid down, and a woman's voice called softly, "Excuse me, do you fix cars this late?" Ethan turned, and for a moment, forgot how to breathe. The woman stepping out wasn't just beautiful, she was the kind of elegant that made the world pause. Long chestnut hair, eyes sharp yet tired, dressed in a navy suit that spoke of power and precision. But her tone wasn't commanding, it was weary, almost human. "I can take a look," Ethan said, trying to sound casual while his heart thundered louder than the rain. He noticed her trembling fingers as she handed him the keys. "Rough night?" he asked quietly. She smiled faintly. "You could say that." Her name was Lena Carter, though she didn't mention her last name that night. Ethan fixed her engine while she waited under the flickering neon sign, her gaze lost in the puddles reflecting broken lights. When he was done, she thanked him, not with money, but with something rare, genuine interest. "You work alone here?" she asked. "Yeah," he replied, wiping his hands. "Can't afford help, but it keeps me busy." "Busy isn't always a bad thing," she murmured. "It keeps us from feeling alone." There was silence after that, the kind that says more than words ever could. As she was about to leave, Lena paused, hesitating like she was fighting with herself. Then she turned, her voice soft but steady. "Ethan, would you be my date for the weekend?" He blinked. "Wait, what?" She laughed nervously. "I have this event, a wedding in the countryside. My friends expect me to bring someone, and I don't want to go alone." He frowned. "You just met me. Maybe that's the point," she said quietly. "Sometimes strangers feel safer than people we've known for years." Against every logical thought, Ethan said yes. The next day, when he arrived at the hotel where she was staying, Ethan almost turned back. The building looked like something out of a movie, marble floors, golden chandeliers, and cars parked outside that cost more than his entire garage. He felt like a misfit in his only decent shirt. But when Lena saw him, she smiled like he was exactly who she wanted to see. "You clean up well," she teased, easing his nerves. The drive to the countryside was filled with laughter and awkward stories. She told him about loving old cars but hating how her father never let her near the garage. He told her about his mom, who used to say, "Grease on your hands means honesty in your heart." By the time they reached the venue, a grand vineyard overlooking endless hills, Ethan had almost forgotten that she didn't belong to his world. Until he saw it, people whispered her name the moment she walked in. "Lena Carter. That's the CEO of Carter Industries. What's she doing here with him?" Ethan froze. CEO, Carter Industries, one of the richest tech companies in the country. He looked at her in disbelief. She hadn't lied, but she hadn't told the truth either. Lena saw the confusion in his eyes and took his hand gently. "Ethan, please, why didn't you tell me?" he asked quietly. "Because I wanted someone to look at me and not my money," she whispered. For once, he didn't walk away. Not that night. He stayed by her side, smiling through the stairs, holding her hand like he wasn't intimidated by the glittering crowd. Because beneath the fancy dress and polished smiles, he saw the same loneliness he carried. But life wasn't a fairy tale. After that weekend, their worlds pulled them apart. She returned to her glass office high above the city, he returned to his oil-stained garage. Reporters started sniffing around after photos from the wedding leaked online, the CEO's mystery date. The attention nearly ruined Ethan's small business. Customers whispered. Some laughed. You really thought she'd pick a mechanic? One evening, he found Lena waiting by his garage again, no Mercedes this time, just her standing there in the rain like the first night. "I'm sorry," she said, voice trembling. "I didn't mean to complicate your life." He sighed, wiping his hands. "I fix engines, Lena. Not headlines." "I don't care about headlines," she said fiercely. "I care about you, and if you can forgive me, I'll prove it." She offered him a deal, not business, but a promise. She'd invest in expanding his garage, not as a CEO, but as a partner who believed in him. He refused at first, his pride too strong, but when she rolled up her sleeves and helped him fix a car the next day, laughing as grease smudged her face, something in him softened. Months passed. The garage turned into a thriving workshop, known not just for great service, but for how its owners treated people like family. Lena would show up every weekend, wearing jeans instead of suits, learning about engines, smiling more than she ever had in boardrooms. And one night, under the same flickering neon sign where they first met, Ethan looked at her and said, "Lena, I've got a question this time." She turned to him, curious. "Will you be my date for a lifetime?"